And welcome back to The Zone. I'm Brant.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jay.
And it's the first episode of Zone 4 of 2019, episode 445, getting ever so close to that 50th episode. So it's exciting times here. Hope you guys have had a great holiday season, great new year and everything. And sorry we took a couple weeks off there, but we needed it. We're here, we're back, and we're ready to talk about some stuff. But before we get into that, we should mention we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us on comicspodcasts.com each and every episode. Go check it out. Maybe not our entire archive, but a good portion of our archive is there. And as well as a whole bunch of other shows if you're looking for a new podcast to listen to. But just listen to ours first. And so how's everybody doing? Jay, how you doing, man? I know you said you had a rough day.
Yeah, rough day, but overall okay, you know.
Yeah.
I'm here, so
right.
that's the good stuff. But always glad to be with you guys and talk this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Highlight my week.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
I'm doing good. Setting up a lot of the New Year stuff for my channel, gearing up. Tommy's not feeling too good tonight, though, so it kind of slows things down a bit. But I'm enjoying the New Year so far, that's for sure. And I actually got some stuff that, well, I'm only going to say this. I'm saving it for the ending, but the Chris and Brant show is going to be very interesting when we start it because we're going to have a lot of fun. And Brant knows, if he knows what I'm talking about, he knows what I mean, possibly.
That's not big at all.
I know, right? He always does this to me. He says, like,
Brant, okay, let me.
You should know. You should be able to read my mind.
For you, I'm gonna make it. All right. Conversation we had not 2 nights ago about something I want to bring if and when I ever come to Texas. Something I wanted to bring. We might actually have a fun way to do it online, so we might not have to wait.
Okay. I follow you now. I thought that's where you were headed,
yeah,
but I
with
didn't
context, it's different.
We're
saying like
Brant would kind of think of all of our conversations.
That's what I'm saying. We talk so much. It's like,
I was just saying, you guys talk every day.
This is true. We missed yesterday.
Yeah.
He calls him my husband, but he didn't talk to me yesterday. I'm very slighted.
I know, and I thought about you about 3:00 this morning, and I was like, "Oh man,
I feel better inside."
Yeah, but I was thinking, I think we were supposed to have a writing session last night.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about
why when I wrote Brant this morning, I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Friday."
Yeah,
like, that means yesterday was Thursday.
Yeah,
shoot,
we missed it.
Well, you know what though, with everything that happened with you at the beginning of the week, it might have been better to keep everything nice and calm.
It has been a week. What's up, Sweet Exorcist? Sweet Exorcist in the comments. Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. It's been a week. My Lisa's dad has been in the hospital. I'm getting a slight echo, by the way.
I didn't give details on Frontline Live. I just said you were like, I didn't know how much to or not to say. So all I said was you were going through a couple of family issues right now, and you weren't able to make the show.
Yeah.
And you said you love, etc., like I always do.
Yeah, he's been in the hospital for a week. His appendix ruptured, and it was pretty bad. So, but he's in recovery now, so everything is starting to calm down. But that's kind of what we've been dealing with all week, and
they had to drain the toxins out, right? Because that's what happened to my mom.
Yeah. They had to flush it out pretty good. Yeah, and he's a diabetic, so it was a little bit more risky to do the surgery and everything. So. But he's recovered, and he's already back to complaining to the nurses and all that stuff. So he's good. So, but we're here, and we're here to talk about some stuff and some things and some stuff. And I always say that, and the joke is getting really old. But it's topic time.
Topic time. It's topic time.
I did it right this time. I'm so proud of myself.
Hey, New Year, finally! It only took a whole year.
Yeah, it only took a whole year, but here we are. So our topic time this week is Young Justice Issue 1 by Brian Michael Bendis. We would talk about the cartoon, but Chris and I haven't watched it yet, and Jay is so mad at us.
So mad.
I'm lucky if
they're limiting my focal. They're limiting my options of discussing it.
Jay, you're welcome to spoil it for me, but I don't know if Brant will want you to spoil it.
No.
There you go.
Making sweat.
I'm sorry.
And I
but
was
you
going to
can-
review it tonight before this show, but I'm going to probably wind up doing it tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll do a Young Justice review show. It'll be a live thing like I did last week. So
Cool.
kind of like a Q&J meets review type thing.
Yeah.
Where
For
discuss it with everybody.
For the second set of 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I honestly, I've been rewatching season 2, trying to refresh my memory, and I haven't quite finished. I'm up to like episode 16 or something like that.
You're talking about Young Justice Season 2 Invasion, yes?
Yes. So I'm trying to refresh my memory before I jump into the new stuff, and Lisa is kind of on the fence of watching it with me, so we're I don't know.
A good segue that you actually mentioned with the Young Justice cartoon is I hope they don't go that route with the comic, because in this book, this is before we get into spoilers, it felt weird, but it felt like Cass and Tim had a bit of chemistry. I just hope they don't bring Miss Martian in and try to do a Young Justice where
Miss Martian's in Titans. So
right now. She's in there for now. I hope they don't try to bring her in and make Cass and Tim a thing.
I don't think that they had a thing in the book.
They never did.
It was they did in the comic books. They did after Connor died. They had a thing.
They had a little.
No, Tim and Cass. I thought you meant Connor and Megan. She did.
No.
They never did in the comics.
No. But Tim and Cassandra had.
Yes, they did.
Tim and Cassie had a little thing, but I don't think that this was like a relationship with them. I just think it was them just being the only 2 Titans, the Teen Titans that are on the team. And there's a little echo.
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
All right, let me exile and come back, because that'll be the only way to fix it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. I just think it's because they're the only 2 Teen Titans from the original, post Flashpoint Teen Titans that we've had. Like, they're the only 2 original ones from there.
Yeah. Plus, they hadn't seen each other in a while, so it was like, oh, really good to see you, kind of thing. It wasn't so much a romantic thing. It was just like, hey, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's like 2 friends catching up, especially because we have not seen Cassie Sandsmark since the end of that volume of Teen Titans.
Right.
Since that team ended, in which I think it ended when the last time we saw it was when Tim was supposed to be dead. So that was the last time we saw it, because that's when they all broke up right after that. So no one has seen Cassie Sandsmark since then.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in just a second. Sweet had a question for Chris and I, real quick before we get into Young Justice. Since you guys didn't watch the cartoon, what are Chris and Brand's thoughts on the ending of Titans? Because we haven't gotten a chance to talk about that yet.
I am super excited, and that's all I'm going to say.
Wait, did Brand actually finish watching the episode?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure, because I know you were like 2 episodes away the last time we talked 2 weeks ago, and I know you had a really rough couple of weeks, so I was just making sure.
Me and Brand had the same combo that you and I had, Jay, about Superboy and whatnot. I
was just saying, it wasn't a knock at Brand. For anybody who's out there, I wasn't knocking him. I was just saying I was sympathizing that he had a hard week, and I knew it was hard to watch.
Oh yeah, I didn't take it as anything different.
I just didn't want it, because I always pick on Brand.
When I was planning on being on that show with you, talking about Young Justice before everything went crazy, I watched them ahead of time because I knew you wanted to talk about it. So I went ahead and finished it. And the thing with me is, because of how excited you 2 were, I knew who was coming. But so when that part came up, it was like, oh, this is really cool. I like the way they're handling it, but I expected it kind of. But then the dog. I didn't expect the dog. Yeah, I didn't expect Crypto. And when the eyes glowed, when the eyes glowed, I went like, I was like, oh, yes. So I was more excited for Crypto.
I was like that the whole way throughout the whole post credit scene. I was like, yes. I was like, it's him, he's here, yes.
I literally did that thing sports fans do. I jumped up and like pumped my fist.
I'll tell you, it took since 1993. It took since 1993. We're in the year 2019. This happened at the end of 2018.
Oh, no, he was in Smallville.
He was, but it
wasn't. He was, but he wasn't. I know he was, but he wasn't. But
they never acknowledged him. they never acknowledged him in the cartoons until Young Justice, and they never truly fully embraced him in live action ever until right this very moment with
this is his actual origin, you know, Cadmus Labs, seen breaking out. I do think he was a little too violent, though. I do think he was a little.
I don't think he hurt anyone. I think it was. I don't think
he did. But again, I can also see that, you know, he's just someone who doesn't have any knowledge of anything yet. So he's like, he's going on instincts, primal instincts. So I can see that being okay. You know, he doesn't really understand things yet.
I think they handled it the same way that they've handled it in the past, like because when he comes out, like in the cartoon we were talking about, when he came out, he didn't know who he was or what was going on. Yeah. He was violent towards his, you know, everybody, and he came in contact with it first.
A rage. He was rage. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying I can understand that. Yeah. It's a little violent, but I can understand it with him more than I can with it. Yeah.
Yeah, the tone of the show kind of lends itself to violence.
Yeah, thank. But yeah, think with that.
I mean, Batman killed the freaking Joker. Come on.
But that was all in Dick's head.
I know.
I'm just saying that for other people who are out there, because I know a lot of people are still saying Batman killed. I'm like, the reason why I understand why the actor Robin said that. But I think he shouldn't have said it that way. He should have said this is a darker Batman, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
But the way he said it, because that's how he was promoting Batman as a killer in this universe. But he's not, because he's just a killer in his head. Yeah. You know, he didn't actually do any of that stuff that we know of.
Sweet says, don't forget, Reign of the Superman is out next week. So Connor
pre-ordered. That's what I mean. He's finally getting recognition all over. Finally.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gotten recognition in the comic world.
In the comics, yes. Outside of that, outside.
I would say New 52, he got treated horribly. Like,
definitely.
They crapped on him so bad.
I don't even know what they were thinking with that, unless it was their end game to bring it back full circle to this, which is weird. Which we should get into the actual book and talk about how he appears.
Well, that's the ending. We don't want to spoil the ending. One thing. Before you put your spoiler alert, Jay, I will say this, and then obviously when we get into spoilers, I feel the same way Jay feels about Superman is the way I feel, and it's always, and I'm sorry, it may sound like I truly hate Bendis, I don't, but he has moments where I feel like he knows Young Justice, and then he has moments that are completely like, why the hell are you writing this book for me?
Okay,
I'm sorry.
We'll get into that. That's
fine. We will.
I just wanted to say one more thing. And then go again, Chris.
Come on, I'm not even doing anything anymore.
I don't make it. Sorry.
He needs earbuds.
Yes, that would be the key. But I just wanted to say, honestly,
okay, there.
All the credit to Connor and Superboy's usage has to really go to, I think, Jeff Johns and Greg Weisman and Brian Vietti. Brandon Vietti.
Jones did good with Connor on Young Justice, the original volume.
Well, but it was like a different way. I think when Jeff Johns actually brought him into the fold of everything, like, because he was always like Young Justice, the original Young Justice, and we'll start that, was always like it almost into its own thing, because it was like super cartoony at times, like, you know, it wasn't like Teen Titans, which was a more serious book. It was always like a cartoonish type thing. So, and like, again, the only one who was actually a serious character outside of that book was Tim. Because Connor's book, he was kind of like, you know, the fun, cool, hip, you know, dude.
He was the goofball.
He was the dude. Yeah, he was the dude. Like, he was the kid. That was actually his name for a while in the comic books, the kid. So, and then Impulse was, again, a literal friggin' like animated cartoon. Like, he was just an anime cartoon. And then Jeff Johns really grounded him, I think, and brought he really brought him, I think, to the more general public's knowledge. And then when Greg Weisman and Brandon Vietti did Young Justice, I think that brought him to the bigger scope of the world. And that was the first time I think people actually knew that there was a Kent that wasn't Clark or Ma and Pa, you know?
Yeah. I think Jeff Johns gave Connor more depth and matured him from what we saw in Reign of the Superman and all that. Because he, like we said, he was kind of this brash, arrogant kid that just, was kind of a know-it-all and center of attention kind of character. And then all of a sudden he has to deal with things when Jeff Johns takes him over. Yeah. And they carry that over to Young Justice. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it's the same way as Marv Wolfman did not create Robin, did not create Dick Grayson, but he took him to that next level. That's why I see as Jeff Johns did with Connor. He brought him to that next level.
Yeah, but the issue here with Young Justice is a lot of them regressed. Impulse regressed back to who he was.
Which we're going to
get into spoilers. Yeah, I don't want to go into spoiler time.
So we are going to be spoiling the first issue of Young Justice #1 by Brian Michael Bendis. And Patrick Gleason. This is your spoiler warning, people. I have to rewatch one of these shows to hear exactly how loud that is.
It's not that bad, honestly.
I don't hold it too close. Like I hold it like right where I'm sitting. Like I hold it down below like the camera angle, so like it's like projecting up. So
I'm waiting for somebody to complain that they want a spoiler alert for when the spoiler alert's going to go off.
Well, who does it? He said, "Here's your spoiler warning," and then. So we already got that. We got
people are picky sometimes, but But one thing that irritated me since we're doing spoilers about the book was Bart. I mean, I loved Impulse. I read Impulse a fair amount of Impulse. I still have like a whole back volume I bought on eBay to read, but I feel like Bendis went over the top with him at times, throwing out so many. Young Justice assemble, Young Justice united, Young Justice.
I love that he did the little Marvel references to it.
The Marvel reference there was fine, but I mean, every other conversation with Impulse was some type of a reference to somewhere, something, Harry Potter, else.
I think the thing is, we still don't know where in the world Connor and Impulse and Cassie have been. And we don't know what version of these characters we're getting. And
did they reference Young Justice being a thing? I think Impulse and Tim did.
They said we're getting it back together.
Yeah, he said we're getting back together. And Tim and Cassie, I mean, they obviously knew each other. So obviously they worked together before.
And obviously there must have been a conversation between Tim and Connor, because Tim and Bart, because when they were going into the portal at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Tim said not without, and then it cut to, and it's you see Connor. So like it jumps to that part. So it must have been like they had a conversation, and they said that they would not reunite Young Justice without Connor, because in the beginning it was Connor, Bart, and Tim. They were the 3 original Young Justice members.
Right.
And then Cassie came in.
Right.
I didn't like Teen Lantern either. Her intro to the team was like, "Oh look, here's Teen Lantern." I'm like,
I don't think we just got enough of her.
We didn't get enough of her.
I think that's one of those. It's like, hey, I'm in the vicinity too. I'll help out. Hi guys, I'm here.
I gotta feel that she's an interesting character. Like so far, I like her because she's trying to pretend like she's older or something. She has a voice modifier, so but she does call herself Teen Titan. I'm Teen Lantern.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I consider her the Bendis character. Bendis always, I'm sorry for interrupting, Brant. I'll go right back to you. Bendis always creates a character to throw into the world to put his voice into it, and that's what Teen Lantern is. Go, Brant.
Sweet says Young Justice was a decent issue if you throw out continuity. If you throw continuity out the window, which I'm expecting this to do. That's an interesting take on it. But yeah, I was just gonna say with Teen Lantern, I didn't mind Teen Lantern that much because again, it was just this character showing up that happened to be in the area, and that was a 90s staple. That happened all the time,
It's just also a team staple. I mean, the original Justice League came together just because they were all in the area at the time of an attack, So I think it pays homage to that. And again, Young Justice assembled originally from the first time just by accident. They were all in the same area, They didn't like get together and say we're going to be the Young Justice team. They got together by accident. So I think it's akin to that. And the same thing with Ginny, Ginny Hex.
Yeah. Yeah, she just kind of happened to be there too. We just got
Right.
to know her a little bit better
Mhm.
than Teen Lantern because she had more screen time.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
she started
I mean-
off the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Teen Lantern and Amethyst, those are the two new ones to join the Young Justice team. They're gonna. I would like a little more background on. I'm sure we will. I know Bendis has a backstory for Teen Lantern since he
Oh, yeah.
created her, but I would like them to flesh out Amethyst and Teen Lantern more instead of just being like, "Here's Young Justice." And now Amethyst has joined the team, and now Teen Lantern. Amethyst is at least a known character.
Yeah.
I've never read her books, but she has an established background that we know of, sort of.
The good thing about Amethyst is because they're doing this whole Gem World arc, which is going to tie her into it logically. So it's going to make sense for her to get involved.
Absolutely. And then,
Right.
but it's just Teen Lantern is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be right back. I'm getting a phone call. 1 sec.
Okay.
I like how they introduced. He actually had every single member on this team in this issue. You know,
Yeah.
we might have only got them for a page, but we got them in this book. You know,
Yeah.
like Amethyst pops up, Connor Kent pops up. The rest of the team are assembled in this. Like, you know, so I think I liked how that was. I like there's also a little mystery. There's a bigger universal mystery, which is why I'm okay with continuity being messed up because of the reference of the 7 crises. So I'm like, something's going on that is making these people come out of wherever they're coming from younger than where they were.
Yeah. And plus, refresh my memory if I'm wrong, Jay. Impulse, like he wasn't in the New 52 at all, right? Because he just at the Flashpoint.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay.
Yeah, because there was a Bart Allen, but we found out he wasn't really Bart Allen. His name was Bart Tor.
Yeah.
He was just impersonating Bart Allen. So, yes, there was a Bart Allen, but you know there was not a Bart Allen.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing I'm wondering, though. This Bart Allen would have to be from the past or something that would have to happen to him. Because one of Bart's powers are he's unaffected by changes in the timeline.
Right.
So if you went back and changed the timeline, like if he was in Flashpoint, he would be the one to be like, yo, dude, this is not right. You know, like this is not should be happening. This is not what the reality is. If he was in New 52, he would be like, well, this isn't how it's supposed to go, Grandpa Barry, you got to go back and fix this again because this is not how reality is supposed to be. He would remember everything from the past reality, the real reality. That's why that part of it, like, I'm wondering how they're going to do it. But again, they bring up right away there are 7 crises in this universe.
Yeah, that's why I think that there's more to this than we're getting so far. Now, sorry, because both Impulse and Superboy, they're obviously different versions of those characters than we've seen most recently, or the last versions of them that we saw. And it could just be this whole change that happened to the universe where things are kind of folding over on themselves a little bit. So we're getting a little bit of the old and the new. It could just be that, and it could be explained away that way. But I'm curious to see what he does and how he explains it, because I think so far, at least, I mean, we've only got one issue to go on, obviously, but I think the way he kind of explained certain absences made sense. Like Cassie, I love the fact that she was just kind of laying low in Metropolis and just kind of doing her own thing. And it was just like, okay, well, that's, I can accept that. That's fine. There's something that made her stop being a hero. And I think he's going to explore that going forward, which I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they actually do that too, because again, like you said, there's different ways to bring her in, because she's Zeus's. See, here's the thing with Cassie, I never really liked. In the New 52, they screwed her up. She's supposed to be Zeus's daughter.
Yeah, and they made her his granddaughter.
Now she's the granddaughter. So, because before, which they originally found out her origin, she was Zeus's daughter, which made a lot of sense. Her mother was an archaeologist, spent a lot of time in Greece. Zeus is known to play tricks on women. I mean,
yeah, that's one way to put it.
I'm trying to say it without being like harsh, but like he was the original Rufy, and according to Greek mythology, because he impersonated different people. Like he will impersonate a woman's husband who was supposed to be away at war, and he would, have sex with her. She would have a baby, and that's why he had all
these came to be, right?
Yeah. He had. That's why he had all these quote unquote bastard children, and that's why Hera was always trying to kill them.
Which would make Cassie, in that logic, a demigod.
Yeah, and that's what she's supposed to be. Even what would you call? I guess she would still be considered a demigod because she's. I thought I turned it off. I just turned it down lower, not off. But she would still be.
Maybe she's a
demigod. Yeah, she should still be a demigod because a demigod is just anybody who's not a full god.
That's or whatever part god.
Yeah. So she should still be a demigod, but something's up with her, and I like that they dropped that little hint about something's up with her, and interesting that she has like a whole power like transformation type thing.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Like, I wonder if she does like the Wonder Woman spin. Like, that would be cool. Like, does she have a spin on the Wonder Woman spin? Like, is Bendis going to try to do something like that? That would be really cool to see. But I think Cassie has the most story that has to be told because her New 52 stuff was beyond horrible. Like, she was really treated like, as much as I think Connor was treated bad, Cassie was treated just as bad, if not worse. Like, honestly, she was really horribly done. She was handled like that armor. Oh god, armor.
That armor. I thought that first out, didn't she have like a full red jumpsuit thing at first, and then they went to the armor? Or am I thinking about something else?
What did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear all that.
I may be thinking about another arc, but didn't she start off with like a red jumpsuit? And then it changed to the armor, or was
the armor like came a part of it. It became it was like a power up to her.
Gotcha. Yeah, I couldn't
like in times of need or something, like the armor will come up. It was supposed to be it's connected to Raven's father to fight him and all. It was a whole thing. It was just horrible. It was a horrible idea that like kept getting worse as they were going on with it. They were like, okay, and then it's this and then it's that. Like, dude, just like put her, like kill her. Like, I just wanted them to kill Cassie because they were just killing her on the page, and I was just like, just kill her, get it over with, stop the slow death, just get her, kill her. I was so glad when she left because I was like, now they could take a break, and when they come back with Young Justice, because I've been saying they were going to do Young Justice.
Oh my god! Hello.
Yes.
Hello?
Oh my god! 15 minutes to try to freaking fix the microphone. I've been talking, and I'm like, okay, I'll just let Jay finish. And then I realized the microphone's been muted.
Yeah.
I was going to say, all you had to do was say unmute.
Stupid Google!
That wasn't Google. That was you.
No, on my end, I hit the red button. Do you know I had to hit it 3 times? I was about to leave the call and come back.
So did you have any thoughts about Cassie?
No, I just my question is no. I don't have a question. I have a statement. With Cassie, I want to know what happened between, and probably Jay was saying this while I was fixing the mic, so I apologize, Jay, if I'm saying something you already said. I want to know what happened between her appearance with Teen Titans in New 52 and now with Armor. Is it remembered? I mean, Rebirth changed a bunch of stuff. I'd like to know.
He was just talking about that.
Okay,
let's just hope the armor is like gone.
Yeah.
Like, it never happened. And Sweet Exorcist, yes, I know that her father's Lennox, who's Zeus' son, but she was never supposed to be Diana's niece. She was never supposed to be Diana's sister. She was supposed to be her sister only in the way an Amazon is her sister. Because Diana is not supposed to have a father.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be the child of Hippolyta and blessed by the gods to give life. She's not supposed to be actually conceived.
So in other words, it's all screwed up.
Yes. Because of what they did with I think that's why they did it with Cassie, because they didn't want 2 Zeus's kids to be Wonder kids, because you didn't want a Wonder Girl, Wonder Woman, and then it's like, oh, so anybody with Zeus's blood is going to be considered a Wonder whatever your gender is.
To Sweet's point, though, I do think it's an interesting dynamic to have them as aunt and niece. That could be.
It is an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
But it would have been an interesting dynamic if they actually did that from the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
like, because I always thought it would have been when they were revealing her secret father back in Teen Titans, the original, with Jeff Johns was revealing it. I think Jeff Johns did it. I was hoping it was going to be Ares, because Ares was the one who was contacting her all the time. So I thought it was going to be Ares. That would have been really cool. You know, the god of war has a daughter who's fighting with the goddess of peace and love. Because Diana is the goddess of peace. So the embodiment is the goddess of peace. So that would have been like an interesting dynamic. You know, her being the mentor of the goddess of war. You know, she's the child of the god of war.
I hate to say this, but I have a feeling we had New 52, we had Rebirth, now we have Dr. Manhattan. I have a feeling a Superboy punch is coming in 2020. Don't ask me what made me think of it. Superboy Prime, hashtag 2020.
Continuity punch.
I think something in 2020 is going to bring Superboy Prime back because he's still out there. We know he's out there after Blackest Night. I don't know why, but something tells me on the inside we're going to be seeing Superboy Prime one day.
Here's what I want to know. I want to know the same thing that Bart wants to know. How did Connor grow a beard?
He had a beard. He had a beard before.
I know. I thought it was some funny moment.
Oh yeah, it was. It was like, I love that moment. But first, you gotta tell me, how'd you grow a beard?
Yeah.
I think that moment was supposed to be like, a lot of people are like, it's because Connor shouldn't be able to grow a beard because he's a clone and he's stuck at 16.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, I think it was just because he is supposed to be like 13 and hasn't gone through puberty yet. You know, not Connor, but Bart. So he's like, how did you grow a beard? Like, you know, he's so excited because he's like, you know, I want to grow a beard because, you know, I'm not a kid.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm really curious what Bendis is going to do with them.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, I'm nervous too, honestly, because, you know, we have Jeff Johns' Titans and Young Justice to look at as, okay, these are these versions of these characters that we are most familiar with, and they've grown past these certain stages, and now they're, like you said, Chris, reverted, but we don't know why. So I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt and see if there's reasoning and see if it's going to play into the actual story before I start judging it on that. But I don't know. It's if it's just like, if it's one of those things that Bendis preferred those versions of the characters, and because the whole universe was kind of rewritten that he's allowed to do that, then it's going to be like, I don't know about that.
What else is he allowed to do? You know,
that becomes a story of what came first, the chicken or the egg, because Flash War had Bart come back as Impulse. Remember?
Yeah.
So was Flash War already decided Bart was coming back as Impulse, and then Brian Michael Bendis had to jump on it with that, or did Brian Michael Bendis already had Young Justice, and it was, you know, he was, Joshua Williamson was told, you gotta bring him back as Impulse. Like, which came first? So, like, that's the whole discussion on it. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
And it makes you wonder even more, because there was that line in here. Why don't you just call yourself Kid Flash then?
Yes, I was like, oh my god!
It's like, yes, exactly. No, that was a good line. There was a lot of good lines in this, and like you alluded to earlier, Jay, the Marvel little plugs I thought was really fun. It was just nice little Easter eggs and things like that. But overall, I thought it was a really good reintroduction to the team and the characters. And I'm just really excited to see certain ones of these back. You know, I'm excited to see, you know, Tim Drake and Cassie and Impulse and Superboy all together again. That's just really fun.
That's the important thing.
Yeah.
And Connor's not a jerk.
Yeah. Now let me ask you, Jay, or Chris, either one, because I stopped reading Detective Comics. I don't know what happened with Tim and Stephanie.
Oh, they after the whole thing that happened with, you know, the Batwoman thing, you know, about Tim wanting to stop Batwoman and all that. Tim and Stephanie went away. They just like got in the car and he was like, "We're going away."
That's right. Yeah.
And that was it.
That was it. So we don't know if there.
What happened with Stephanie and Tim? Right. Spoiler still out there.
Yeah, so I wonder if Stephanie will play into the story at all, or if he's just going to ignore that relationship.
He's going to ignore it. I know Bendis. If spoiler wasn't on the cover,
No,
she's not going to be in the book.
I think he'll probably acknowledge her. Maybe like she's off at college and he had to go back.
That's right. Tim has spoilers, so he can't be flirting with Cassie.
Yeah, I don't think he was. We were talking about that when you were away.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. We thought it was just like these are two old friends that haven't seen each other in a long time. Cassie's been missing for a while, and we finally get that explanation as to where she's been, and it was just two old friends running into each other and being happy to see each other. That's all. I thought.
And in continuity that we've seen, because again, this is implying that Young Justice has happened. Yeah. So in continuity that we've seen, Cass and Tim are the only ones who actually know each other. Because none of them have met Jenny. None of them have met Green Teen Lantern. None of them have actually met the real Bart Allen. Because they've only met Bart Tor. And honestly, none of them have met Connor Kent either.
But maybe they erased that.
Unless they remember the pre-New 52 continuity.
Right. That's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying. Like, which, again, it implies that Young Justice was a thing. Because he said, we're getting Young Justice back together.
Yeah,
I want one thing. I need Superman to see Connor. I need Superman to see him, remember him, and then I'll feel 100% better.
It implies that Young Justice was a thing, but it doesn't necessarily imply that Teen Titans was a thing, which is interesting now that you mentioned it.
Teen Titans does imply that Tim was a part of that team before. Because Damian said in the past when Tim led this team, he didn't have the iron hand that I had. Yeah, or he would say not Tim. I think he says when Drake led the team, he didn't have the iron fist I had. Saying because he calls them by their last names.
But Drake did lead the team in the New 52, right?
Yeah.
So
and Cassie.
It implies that version of Teen Titans, but it doesn't imply the version of Teen Titans pre-New 52 is what I was saying. We don't know that actually existed, so they may have just written away everything that we saw with Connor and Cassie and all that in that team. So Jeff Johns' whole run may not even exist in this continuity now, which sucks.
Don't ruin that. Don't.
No, but that would make that would explain why.
Well, part of Jeff Johns' run had to be in continuity because Connor did not get his name Connor until Jeff Johns' run on Teen Titans.
That's true.
He was the kid.
No, didn't he get Connor from the last issue of Superboy when he went to the Kent?
No, he was. Well, wait, I got issue number 100 right here, actually.
Yeah, look in it. See the last couple of pages. I think Superman gave him.
There was still a decision made because of Jeff Johns' run was coming up. So he didn't go to the Kents until Jeff Johns was getting ready to take over the book.
What were you saying, Brent?
No, I don't know because I didn't read all of Superboy. I didn't finish it. So
don't feel bad. I still have a bulk of it to read myself.
Yeah, I really got into all that during and post Reign of the Superman, and I read all the titles for a while, and then I just kind of fell off.
I thought you thought Superboy was jerky.
I did think it was jerky.
Yeah. Okay. He was. See, that's what Jeff Johns did. He matured him.
Yeah.
He took him there, but he didn't give him a name. He didn't give him the name Connor Kent. Jeff Johns was the first appearance of Connor Kent was in Teen Titans #1.
Okay.
That was the first time he was called Connor.
Okay.
But before that, he was called the Kid, the Metropolis Kid,
Connell,
Superboy, and Carl Crummett.
And Connell.
And Connell, yeah. Connell, he was given the name by Superman to join his House of L. Then at the end of issue number 100, he takes him to join his human family, but he never gives him the name until Jeff Johns. Well, that's when we find out his name is Connor Kent.
Which is why I was surprised they made it Conner, not Konner, because he's Con-L. But kind of.
Well, I think L starts with the K.
Clark. Yeah, exactly. That was actually smart.
I think it's just a knowledge of the name. It sounds like it, like the human equivalent of Con-L sounds like Connor. Connell.
Yeah, and
Connor,
C and K both have the same sound when you do a hard C.
It sounds similar. So they were like, it's okay.
Yeah. So verdict on Young Justice issue 1, Chris.
Same as Superman and Action Comics with Bendis. I'm excited, but I'm very, very nervous with Bendis writing the book.
Okay, Jay.
Wouldn't mind seeing a guest appearance of Chuck Jones at some point to write an arc. Chuck. Dixon. Chuck Dixon, not Jones. Chuck Dixon, not Jones.
I was about to say
Chuck cartoon artist. That was a cartoon dude who did Tom and Jerry. So, Brad, your verdict.
I don't think Chuck Dixon's going to be writing this book.
I don't think Chuck. I will be. I know, but I could hope.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Johnson has enough on his plate. I just want to ask real fast.
John's Chuck Dixon.
Oh, Chuck Dixon. I just want to ask one question real fast to you guys, because I did a video on it. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think are the 7 crises of DC Universe?
Okay.
We talked about this, Jay. I don't know. It could be alluding to all the ones we've had already.
I mean, if you go with the ones that we've already had, you've got Crisis on Infinite Earths, you got Infinite Crisis, you got
0 Hour Crisis in Time, because that was the title.
That was a crisis.
0 Hour. What'd you say, Chris?
No, I'm agreeing with Jay. Keep going.
Oh, what was the one before Infinite Crisis? Or the one after Final Crisis?
It was Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is in chronological order. Crisis on Infinite Earths, 0 Hour Crisis in Time, Infinite Crisis, Final Crisis. Those are the only ones. Identity Crisis. But they said what they define as a crisis was something that happened on Earth that reached out, that had ripple effects beyond Earth's. So it was like a continuity changing event. Because that's what they say in the comic. Wow. So that's why I'm considering like bigger things, like universal changing things.
But technically, what I'm talking about, what they labeled as crisis is a crisis. Those 5, and then you could consider Flashpoint as a crisis, and then that just leaves 1 if you include Identity,
which could be what's happening in this first arc.
Could be Rebirth too.
Oh, Rebirth, yeah.
So my 7 are Crisis on Infinite Earths, 0 Hour Crisis in Time, Infinite Crisis, Final Crisis, Flashpoint, and now I'm giving Convergence and Rebirth.
Okay, Convergence. Yeah, I can see Convergence as well.
Because if it wasn't for
Convergence, yes, that was a pretty big crisis.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Convergence, Superman that we have today would not be there.
That's right.
He survived the Convergence crisis to exist outside of time. Yeah. And we still have Parallax and pre-Crisis on Infinite Earth Supergirl roaming around too.
Yeah, so, but I think they went to different different Earths.
Yeah, they did. Well, we did see Parallax come back for a minute, but so those are my 7. I know a lot of people are saying the Dark Knight's Metal, but I don't think it actually.
No, that's not a crisis. It was an event more than a crisis.
But at the same time, it did have ripple effects because you broke the source wall and all that stuff, and it could.
I don't think it altered anything though. See, that's my perception of it is anything that altered things, and like Rebirth / Superman.
Yeah, that's why you can't consider Identity Crisis. A crisis like that because nothing altered.
Yeah, that's why I don't consider that. I just see that as like using the name, like same
we
thing.
Lost Sue Dibney. Yeah, that's all we lost. We lost Sue Dibney died, and
it changed the characters.
Yeah.
It changed our perception of things, but it didn't change reality. So by their definition in the comic book, those are the 7 that I came up with. And I know some people don't consider Rebirth; they consider Metal instead. So. I was just wondering where you guys stood on that. So
yeah, I could see. Yeah, when you were talking, listening to them, I thought about Convergence, but I wasn't sure if that was big enough to. But I wasn't thinking about the return of the original.
Yeah, that's why I consider it, because that was a big game changer, you know. Yeah. And think about it. One of the timelines that we got in there, one of the eras, because remember they did the eras, you know, the pre-crisis, the post-crisis, the 0 Hour era, you know, was 0 Hour, and in that era we got Connor Kent was in that event, and so was Bart Allen, and Bart was Impulse, and Connor was in the leather jacket. So both of them existed in that, because we actually had it from right. It was like right from the death of Superman. It was his issue. Remember, he had that issue where it was like right from the death of Superman. So he's in that. Maybe that's where these people came from.
It
like
could be.
They were pulled from that era. That's why I'm trying to like work it into continuity in a way. So like that's why I consider Convergence, because if that was an event, they could have pulled them from that era.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when it folds out. But I agree with you. I think that's a good. If they're going with things that we know. Now he could just throw something in there that
definitely
Bendis Crisis.
Yeah,
there was also a mention of like a another crisis that's supposed to happen in the future.
Well, Doomsday Clock could be leading to a crisis.
Well, no, there was another like a total crisis or something like that. I forget what it was called right now.
Oh my god, if it's called Total Crisis, it better set everything back to 86.
I forget what it was, but someone mentioned it. I think it was mentioned in one of the comments on my crisis.
Well, let's look at DC right now. Everything's in different continuity. In one book, Lex Luthor is still running LexCorp. In Justice League, he's running the Legion of Doom. I mean, he can
do both, because Lex Luthor is Lex Luthor. He tells everybody that he's a good guy and people believe him, you know? So,
I don't know. I feel like continuity is kind of skewed in certain books.
I think timelines are skewed, but that's with any shared universe. You know, like Marvel has the same problem with, like, they actually contradict continuity. I think it's more of, it's like, again, we've discussed this. Bendis books are in a different point in time of the universe than the rest of the DC universes, I think, because they're all with Heroes in Crisis in the present, and I think he's still like a little bit behind that. So, but back to Brian's question, I enjoyed this overall. I thought it had the original fun and charm of the original Young Justice book. It had all that. I am bothered by the de-evolution or the de-aging of characters like Bart and Connor.
Connor, I want to just say one thing about Connor, Jay, that you probably mentioned. He's in this other universe. That could just be a makeshift costume he had to put together, possibly.
Yeah, but it's so dead on from what he had when he.
I know.
Even the haircut.
Yeah, he got like the friggin' fade, the ear. I didn't even see. Does he have the earring? Like,
didn't notice the earring, but he definitely.
I didn't notice. Yeah,
but Jay, do you have the Superboy cover?
I got all the covers for Young Justice.
Okay, so do I. Okay, so we're even. We got all the covers.
You think I was also going to get all those covers there?
Oh, hell no. I figured you would. I did also. Superboy and Impulse both sold out everywhere.
Well, of course, those are the two that everybody wanted to see come back.
True.
Which, again, I just want to say I predicted the whole Young Justice coming back. Just got to throw that out there. I said it. Everybody told me I was crazy.
No,
you would tell me who won it.
That's a trend. That's a trend. Everybody calls Jay crazy, and I'm the only one in the corner of the room going, I hope you're right.
I'm not saying like you guys. I'm saying like, remember the viewers who were like, oh, they were coming back. They're not going to do that. Remember in the comments, they were saying that in the live chat. So like people, like they were like, oh, we'll love it too, but it will never happen. And it happened. I'm just saying. They were even. I even gave a timeline. I said within.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, I just want to. When you're told you're wrong so many times and then you're right.
Yeah, you get that little.
You have to go like, told you so. You got to get the I told you so.
Jay's one of those. I'm not the kind of guy to tell you I told you so, but I told you so.
No, I'm definitely the guy who I told you so. If you're going to keep telling me I'm wrong, then when I'm right, I'm going to tell you I'm right. But
I don't see an earring on the Superboy cover. I just looked it up.
Yeah, I didn't remember seeing it, but I know like the fade is there. He just looks so.
I'm gonna look at the comic real quick. I'll check the comic real quick. Or Brent, are you on the comic?
No. I was just looking. I looked up.
All right, I'm gonna look at my. I'm gonna check mine out.
I used to rock fade, keep it long and on top, just like Superboy.
I think you don't see that side. Like I think we only see him from the right side, and his earring.
Yeah, his left side is not shown. Yep.
Yeah. So,
I keep talking about my face. Nobody cares.
What?
I want to know what's up with the pouch on his leg, though. That's something new.
It was the 90s. He had a pouch on his leg. Well, he had the straps. He didn't have the pouch.
He didn't have such a big pouch. He had a tiny pouch.
No, he just had the straps, I think, when he
right.
And then I think it was just to make it look, to give the straps a I think Gleason said when he was designing them, it was to give the straps on his legs an actual purpose.
Yeah, but
I don't see an earring on any of the pictures with Connor, so I don't think they went with the earring again. I'm even looking at the sketch variant. There's no.
I'm sorry, if you're gonna go and embrace the '90s, give them the fade and everything, you should at least throw in the earring. Make it complete. If you're gonna go because come on, the fade. Honestly, people still wear earrings in their ear. Guys do, compared to the fade. No one.
My older brother still wears an earring on his left ear.
I would say a lot of people do. A lot of guys do. Actually, a lot of guys have both ears pierced now.
Yeah, but that kind of fade anyway is
not the extreme.
If
fade.
This video gets 200 likes, Brant will pierce his left ear.
No, it will not.
Oh, you don't believe in that?
Don't even joke about that. I will not. No.
You don't like pierced ears? Really?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
I'm not putting any holes in my body that don't belong there.
Wow, this is something new. Usually everybody I know, guy-wise, wanted to have a left ear piercing.
I never wanted any kind of piercings. Never.
Oh, okay. Fair.
I haven't had an earring in it in a long time, but I can still put an earring in it. It hasn't closed.
I never did a rat tail. I never did a duck tail. I never did a piercing. I never did a tattoo.
A duck tail? What was a duck tail?
Woo! No, it was like a little funky thing. I don't know.
Kind of like what Michael had before he had the thing that he had to shave off. Finally,
I never had any of the tails, but I had a ponytail because I had long hair and I would put my hair in a ponytail. So
I only let my hair grow out in the back once, and it was about to here. But most of the time, I would let it grow out on top, and my bangs would be down to here. But
my hair was probably longer than Lisa's.
I never could stand it. I couldn't stand it when it got.
I had really, really long hair, probably middle of my back.
Dang.
And I had
300 likes, and Jay will grow his hair as long as he used to have.
No, Jay won't.
Jay just shaved now. What are you talking about?
I know. Mine is I have a crew cut constantly because I like dealing with it. I don't have to spend a whole bunch of time drying it out. I don't even dry my hair in the morning. I just go. By the time I'm done getting dressed and all, my hair's dry. I have no hair. I love it. If I didn't want to be bald, I would probably shave my head so I wouldn't have to deal with it at all.
I don't want to be bald.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to have a bald head, so I don't want to shave my head. But because I don't know how my hair would look like. I would have a bumpy head or something. No, my luck, I would have and plus it's very Lexutherish. But no, I've had a crew cut for a long time. But for a long time I had really long hair. I had all different variations of it too. But
yeah. Like I said, when I was 16, 17, I had a very similar haircut to Superboy. I had the fade on the back and sides and then the long kind of.
I think everybody did. I think everybody did. I didn't.
Unfortunately, my mom was like, "Ew, no, not on my son."
Actually, that's how my hair. That's how my hair, the long hair started. Brand. I had my sides faded, and then that went to sides and back were faded, and then it actually went to being shaved, so it was gone. And then I had the long hair on the top, and then it was it's getting in my face, so I put it in a ponytail, and then I just let that grow, and then the other hair just I eventually after a couple of years I let that grow back in, and I was like, what the hell?
The only reason why I couldn't get a tattoo is because I changed my mind too much. If I got one, it would have to be on my back, so I don't see it every day.
I didn't get one because I don't like pain.
I don't like pain either, and I don't like needles
for that matter.
So yeah,
my body, but that's just me personally.
No, I don't know. No.
True story. I walked into church the first day I got my fade, and my pastor looks at me and goes, "Conform ye not to the world." The pastor's daughter said, "I like it." So, I'm good.
Devil, 50 prayers. Get that rosary out.
I did anything I could to not look like my brother with my hair. Because my brother still to this day has the same exact haircut he's had since we were I think he was 5 or 6. He's got that brush back hair. It's a little shorter now. He keeps it a little shorter, but it's still that brush back hair style where I was like, I had to be expressive with my hair. I was like, I had to have it this way and part it that way, and then in the ponytail below.
My hair is better short. I can't grow it long.
I see. That's the thing. I'm the one in the family that can. Like my brother can't. I can. I can grow long hair. So I did it, and of course, I was also into like heavy metal and all that. So at points,
perfect. Yeah, you were perfect with heavy metal.
Yeah, I was a skateboarder and all that for a time. So like being.
Where's that Avril Lavigne song? He was a skateboarder.
No.
They said see you later for that song.
But Brent, what about you and Young Justice? You got you got Jay's. What about you?
I really enjoyed it. I am concerned, just like both of you, with the de-aging of Bart and Connor. I'm really curious to see where he goes with that, which versions these characters are. But I'm nervous that it's gonna stick, and if it sticks, then we've lost like so much growth for those two characters. Which, you know, that's really the only thing I'm nervous about. Other than that, I thought it was a solid first issue, a solid reintroduction, and I'm enjoying the story so far. And I didn't mind all the catchphrases and all that stuff. I thought it was fun. So
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm okay. I only first read Bart through Teen Titans, and he grew up because he literally got his butt handed to him to the point where he locked himself in the library. Yeah, where he locked himself in the library. Remember, Jay? He locked himself in a library and he studied the entire library in a day. But for him, it was years, and he grew up.
Yeah, that was after he got shot in the knee, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was that was Jeff Johns' first arc. It was called The Kids Game.
And it grew him up. He grew up. He's like, I can't be a goof anymore.
He took it seriously now. He was like, time to take things seriously.
Right.
People were so against that.
I loved it. I thought it was time. You can't keep them kids forever. At least immature like that. You can't. Damien can last. Damien can last.
I think you can be comedic and everything and still be a little bit more mature. I mean, look at Beast Boy. He kind of teeters between the two. And I think that's kind of what Impulse became in Jeff Johns' run. Yeah, Spider-Man 2. So
I just know that like because I was big on message boards at the time of this of Teen Titans release. I'm actually grabbing the trade paperback because it was one of the contenders for this month's comic book club.
Yeah.
So I had it out, but I was on the message boards during this time, and I remember people were so furious about Connor and Bart growing up. They were like, they're so angsty and teeny. They don't meaning like not teeny as in TIN, TENIE. I think that's TEENIE, like teeny as in like teenagers. They were like, they're too angsty teenagers. They don't need to be like that. Connor shouldn't be a dumb jock. Connor's this and
dumb jock.
Yeah, and they were like,
I don't think that's what he was, but okay.
I don't think that's what he was at all.
People
very smart.
People they thought it was like a broody dumb jock. They were like, Bart's feet shrunk. Bart shouldn't have small feet.
Bart's feet shrunk.
I'm like,
it wasn't his feet, it was his shoes. Come on, people.
Jesus Christ.
No, he just had to have big feet. He was supposed to have big feet.
Please, stop. Stop.
That was a stylistic thing. It wasn't because he just.
That was. Oh, what's his name? He's doing amazing. Yeah.
Mike Wieringo designed them, and he was supposed to have big feet because he was supposed to be this bigger, like anime-ish character, So like he was supposed to have big feet, big hair, and people hated that he got his hair cut, that his feet were small. I was like, dude, if he had those shoes in real life, he would never be able to run like that. Like his
like Ronald McDonald, he'd be flipping and flopping.
Yes, exactly. Like he shouldn't.
Now I'm imagining Ronald McDonald with super speed.
Or just imagine like Tommy wearing a size 12 sneaker.
Now I want to see somebody. I'm sorry, Jay, to cut you off. I want to see somebody do Ronald McDonald as the Flash being chasing the Hamburglar.
That would be awesome.
I don't know.
Brad, patron, I want to see a drawing.
There you go, Brad. There's a drawing prompt for you.
Yeah, that's a good one. He's got the right colors, Ronald McDonald. Yellow and
Yeah.
red. It's already out there.
But people were so pissed about that on the message boards. I remember because I was on Comic Block, which was really big back then. Now it's like dead zone, but it was like huge back then, and because it was the friendly alternative to DC's message boards, which was like a war zone. But and people hated Jeff Johns for that, and that was like basically Jeff Johns' boards. Like that was his boards. Like he was like the it guy there. Even today, I think I still like everything about him. But anyway, it was like largely people were hating on Bart and Connor's progression. They were like, Bart shouldn't be like that. Bart needs to be more like the kid. He's the fun kid. He's too serious.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. People don't like change.
Well, I see there's change and then there's forced change. Like this was an evolution of Bart. This was an evolution of Connor. Like Connor was a kid because he never had any responsibilities. Yeah. When Superman gave him a family and a home, he had a responsibility. He grew up. He went to school. The kid went to school for the first time.
Right. No, I agree with you. I think there's natural progressions you can do, and I think when it's handled right, change is very good for a character because you don't want them to stay stagnant and stay in the same place forever. Because then what can you do with that character after 10 years? You're telling the same stories.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I do blame Peter David a little bit for it because Peter David, who did Young Justice, did the story because I believe it happened in Young Justice, where one of Bart's clones, because Bart was able to send I think in the Flash TV show they're called avatars or whatever, or time remnants. He was able to send those clones out, Bart. He was able to send clones out to do things. And one of his clones died, and Bart felt that. It was in our World at War story arc, and Bart felt that. That should have been the moment where Bart started to grow up, right then and there.
Yeah.
That moment. But he never did. Yeah. And I think that was the blame for it. Because I think if Bart were to start growing up then, and then if Jeff Johns just continued that growth, I think it would have been accepted. But because it wasn't, and they're like, well, Bart lost it, he felt his self die and he didn't change. Why would he change? Because he got shot in the knee. Because I remember I argued that point. I was like, dude, he got shot in the knee. Like, he got taken out and he's alive, because he was goofing off.
Yeah. And also because, like, even though he felt himself die or felt that remnant die, he could still do everything he could.
Yeah.
He still had his abilities, right? When he got
shot, psychologically, he just never called them again.
Yeah. When he got shot, he was benched. He couldn't do anything. He had to basically take a back seat, and that made him think and made him have to spend his time doing other things. And like Chris said, he went to the library and read up, and then he realized, hey, man, my mindset is off. I need to mature a little bit. And I thought it was natural. I thought it made sense, and I thought it was good for the character. But
yeah, plus Wally didn't even want him on Teen Titans because he thought he wasn't he wasn't mature enough. He was like, he didn't want to give him that responsibility. He didn't think he was going to do it, right? And people did not like that he also took the name Kid Flash. He was like, because he said he wasn't Kid Flash in his first appearance. I was like, that's because Wally was like appalled by it when he said Kid Flash. And he was like, no, I'm only joking, But so we all liked it. Or is it safe to say we all like this issue?
Yeah, I think we all like it tentatively and are a little concerned about the future. I think that's probably a good summary of it. Mm-hmm. So before we go, we'll want to touch on a couple other things. We mentioned Crisis. So Heroes in Crisis, issue 4, something specifically that Jay wanted to touch on was the tapes. Whereas Batman assures Superman that there were no tapes, there's no recordings, they're not supposed to be recorded at all, yet there are recordings and people have seen them.
Lois has seen them.
Yeah. So what are you thinking, Jay?
I don't know. I want to know, like, who. Again, this also brings me back to Jeff Johns' Teen Titans, because like we had Lex Luthor disguised as this mysterious guy giving Connor this information about himself. Could just be something like another Snapdragon, because that was his code name in that. Could it be someone that we know who's behind it, or is it someone new? Who's behind it leaking these tapes?
With Booster and Blue Beetle, I'm scared it's checkmate, and we're gonna get another another ending we don't want.
I don't think so. I don't think that they would bring Ted back to shoot him again.
I know. I'm thinking checkmate. I'm thinking Amanda Waller. I'm thinking it has to be some operative, somebody who is a need to know, like Batman.
We haven't seen Maxwell Lord in a long time.
Exactly, and he was task force. He had another task force he started, if you remember, after he broke away from Waller.
So it's possible. I hope it's somebody that we know, just because I think that would have more impact to the story. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if it's somebody new, then it's gonna be like, oh, it's like, I don't know. If it's somebody, what?
It's Batmite.
It's Batmite. I think it'll take some of the impact away, because it's like, oh, what kind of mystery is that if you don't even know the player that it could possibly be? You know what I mean?
And that's just like someone that we know but we don't know. Just saying, it could be someone that we know but we don't know.
Yeah.
So someone who's maybe not have been a part of the DC universe for a while, who's coming back.
Yeah, if it's somebody we've seen before somewhere, and it's explained, even for us that haven't read DC for as long as others, if it's explained to us who this person is, that would be okay. But if it's a completely brand new character,
that would ruin the mystery.
Yeah, I think with the murder mystery, your suspects and your ultimate culprit has to be somebody that you've seen somewhere before.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm just saying the person who's leaking the information, the mole, or whatever you want to call that person.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look on, was this one of these DC solicitations? I remember there's a comic book, and on the cover of it, because I know Chris and I talked about it on the solicitation show, it had Argus,
some other checkmate, and every underground organization in DC basically was on.
It was just three. It was just three different operatives. There's Argus, Checkmate, and some other organization.
Was it Spiral or Energy?
No. I'm looking through the last two. Well, not last month. It had to be the month.
It would be next month. It would be January.
It was Action Comics 1008.
Yeah.
DEO. That's it. How can I forget that? Because it's so popular because it's Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So DEO, Argus. It says superstar creative team of writer Brian Michael Bendis. Blah 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 blah. DC Universe and the sweeping espionage epic that's shattering the agencies and heroes dedicated to protecting the world. As the DEO falls, only Jimmy Olsen can hold the answers to helping Superman and Lois Lane uncover who's behind the attacks rocking the DC biggest clandestine organizations. And then it shows power shifts to Leviathan forever. So whoever Leviathan is. I'm
just not feeling action as much as I am Superman. It's just too much. I'm
okay with both of them. But because I remember there was three big organizations they had. So it was DEO, Argus, and Checkmate. So those are the three that were in there. But I don't know. It could be an intelligence organization, or it could be a single person, or it could just be Sanctuary became sentient, that's another thing. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I hope it's not is OMAC.
Oh, yeah.
Bendis tease OMAC.
They've been used too much, I think.
Yeah.
Brother Eye.
I don't want it to be Brother Eye.
I don't want it to be anything connected with that. I think if it's a sentient computer program, I want it to be Sanctuary. I want Sanctuary to have built up a sentience, and because
Sanctuary
of all the
girl and Brother Eye a boy, and they could have a child called Sanctuary Eye.
Yeah. No, don't give them ideas.
I'm giving ideas, DC, and I want royalties if you do it.
No,
this
could be for that one.
This could be the answer to Sanctuary. What if Sanctuary did become sentient? And
what's up, Jesse? JLS Comics in the comments.
to save the heroes who are, who always come to them with these crises, always come with them with these psychological problems. They've been injured, Barbara Gordon with the here and with the there and there. What's his name? Lagoon Boy wanting to be shot over and over again. Maybe they figured the best way to save them is to kill them, to put them out of the harm's way by ending the pain completely. And Sanctuary is the real murderer. Because Sanctuary could disguise himself as something. Those robots could be anything.
Yeah. Who in the DC universe has the ability to like hack like
Cyborg, Calculator.
That
as bad guys, there'd be Calculator.
That's a possibility.
That's the biggest.
Also, don't forget we could have Grid still out there from the Crime Syndicate.
No, I hope not.
Look. I don't want it to be. You asked.
Yeah,
I'm answering.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. I just hope that's not it.
Brainiac.
Calculator would fit into like Tom King's type of storytelling, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. And it would make him it would bring him up because he's like a C-list bad guy right now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Kite Man. He definitely went from like E to D at least. Yeah.
No, that's a possibility. I don't know. It could also still be a hero. It could be a good guy. We just don't know, and that's what I love about it, though, is that we don't know. But the fact that those tapes exist is very interesting, and the fact that Batman is like adamant that no, there's no tapes, and Superman's like, yeah, dude. Yeah,
they don't exist. Like he honestly was telling the truth. Like he set up the system to erase after every session. It was just there.
It could be Batman's father too.
Yeah, it could be Thomas.
Yeah, that would be true. But here's the thing. Why would it even? Because this is my thing. Why would it even have to tape it at all?
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
And that's just because of the nature of the AI to learn from it. Yeah. Maybe that's the way it is, to learn, to adapt and advise or whatever. But like, why should they? Like, it shouldn't be a confessional in that way. Just have a robot who does not record.
It could be Skeets. I mean, we talked about how he's part of that.
That's true too. Skeets. Yeah. He's part of the whole the cabal.
Yeah,
cabal.
So, lot of different theories, and we got 5 more issues to go now.
Yeah,
a lot of time to wait for these answers.
Yes.
But I like that we're getting little bits and pieces and stuff. So
me too. So there's one more big thing that came out this week.
Yeah. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man issue 1 dropped. Tom Taylor writing.
Also known as one of the best Spider-Man books.
Yeah. It was very good, and we're going to talk about the whole book on Frontline Live on Tuesday, so tune in for that because we're almost 100% positive it's going to be talked about. So
I tell you, man, Tom Taylor is like Jeff Johns. He comes on a book and just does magic.
Yeah.
And it's only issue 1.
Yeah. So mainly what we want to talk about is what happened in the backup story, and it's kind of what I talked about my topic time this week as well. But as far as the overall story, just to touch on it briefly, I thought it was really cool that he focused on the neighborhood and kind of boiled things down to this one specific area.
Yes.
I thought that was really cool because we get so much of that bigger stuff and the rogues and everything in the other books. What'd you say, Jay?
No, so that was a very creepy yes. He was like, yes.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do it that way. I might have roboted because I said yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. That roboted me. That roboted me real bad because I said yes.
Something that we don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sweet asked about Captain Marvel #1. Tune in to mine and Lisa's Grant versus Lisa. It'll air tomorrow, I think.
Cool.
It's actually one of the books we picked for our anticipated, so we'll actually be talking about that a little bit. And I'm sure we'll be talking about that Tuesday too. Because I know some people.
Captain Marvel, Shazam, Captain Marvel from Marvel.
Marvel.
We'll
the new. I know Kat did, though, I'm sure, or will be.
Yeah, then definitely somebody will talk about it.
That's what I'm saying. So I know it'll be talked about. So tune in.
I know Mike read it.
I read it.
Yeah, because he mentioned that the other day when Kat said she hasn't read it yet, but she really wants to.
I'm sticking to a lot of DC in 2019. Only things I'm reading from Marvel are Spider-Man. I want to love X-Men again. Fingers crossed, with Cyclops and Wolverine back on the same page, and Fantastic Four, and maybe one or two other books that I'm not remembering that I'm reading at the moment that I'm reading. That's it.
But going back to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which we are all reading,
Yes.
that backup story had some very interesting implications, and basically it started off as just this nice little love story. Peter and MJ having a nice candlelit dinner on a rooftop, but meanwhile, Aunt May is writing this cryptic, vague letter to Peter and apologizing to him for not telling him. And he tries to follow her, and he gets sidetracked by helping people and stuff, and doesn't get to see out of his sense of responsibility, and he doesn't get to see he doesn't get to see her ultimate destination, which we do. And she has a run-in with the Kingpin, which I thought was pretty fun.
That was awesome. Aunt May just smacked the Kingpin with words.
Yeah, on camera even. I love that. It's like, no, I got nothing
I ain't got no time for no criminal and disgusting person like you.
But the ultimate destination was the hospital because Aunt May found a lump. And it begs the question, like I posed in my topic time, now that Peter and MJ are back together, is that deal with Mephisto coming back to light? Is Aunt May getting sick because they're getting back together? Is it an endless circle that Peter can't ever be with MJ if Aunt May's going to live, and vice versa? So,
see, I hope not, because then that's just like Marvel really screwing it to Peter.
They killed Aunt May in the PS4 universe, and it was very impactful for that Spider-Man.
They killed Aunt May. How many times now?
Oh, yeah, too many times.
She had
issue 400. There was I have the issue. It's a Tombstone cutout cover, die cut cover.
I have that too.
I mean, how many deathbeds does that lady have? I mean,
she's got more lives than Catwoman at this point.
She's about 20 times her age.
She's a hard broad to kill. I would say that. But I think they could do that because it's like the big, I think that would get a lot of people to buy that issue. If they kill Aunt May or building up to killing Aunt May, people are going to start reading Spider-Man. They're going to read all the Spider-Man books because they don't want to miss that issue where Aunt May dies. That would be like a selling point. Mm-hmm. So I think Marvel might be greedy enough to kill Aunt May, but I'm hoping they don't. And I don't like the implication that if Peter gets back with MJ, because that wasn't the deal. The deal wasn't that if you ever get with her again, Aunt May would die. It would be
it was just if you end up back together, you end up back together. But for right now, I'm separating the both of you.
Well, it wasn't anything about if you get back together. It was just like, if you sacrifice your memories, I will save your Aunt May. Yeah. So he sacrificed his memories. He did that. Which also included his marriage. It was wiped away. The whole relationship was wiped away. It was never said that that they couldn't get back together. So unless that was again in the fine print that you never get back together. Which
he is a demon. There is always fine print.
I just say eliminate Mephisto, get it over with, and that's that because it's going to come to that.
Mephisto's popping up. He's got something for these with Miles and Champions. He popped up.
See, that's what I'm saying. Miles already has to deal with Mephisto now. And you got Pete and Miles team up, take out Mephisto.
Ben dealt with them over in Scarlet Spider.
Ben did. Yeah, all the Spider family deal with Mephisto. Everything's refixed.
Noah's going to take the deal with Mephisto, right?
What's that?
A female spider is going to have to smack him down.
Yep.
I would just say, he's using the men as tools. I think it's going to go down to one of the women being like, nah, this
Mayday.
is not happening.
It'll have to be either Mayday, Spider-Woman.
I can see Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman, I can see actually being Jessica Drew. I can see her staying next to Mephisto.
Totally. I did, going back to Captain Marvel real quick, I did like her characterization in that book, Spider-Woman. She was in there briefly.
Yeah.
Good to see her again. Handled right, not like in those titles. Anyway, I hated the way she was in those titles. But
I think the titles were horrible as a whole concept, but I loved I love the tie. I love Spider Force. I'm sorry, I did.
I know you did. I didn't.
I
like
come
it.
back to Spider Force.
I know,
Yeah,
but
it was so much
I do
feature.
agree that she wasn't used well, and I just think that was because of the nature of the event.
Yeah.
I'm really curious, Jay, and I want to save it for Tuesday because I know it's going to come up, but I'm really curious to see what you thought of Captain Marvel because it's Kelly Thompson, and I know you're not the biggest fan of her writing.
Well, you can actually find out tomorrow because Frontline Reviews is supposed to go up today, but
you reviewed it.
our
Okay.
day, so I'm reviewing it tomorrow.
You
so
won't have to wait.
we'll be able to find out tomorrow my opinions on Captain Marvel, and then I'll expand on them during Frontline Live.
Good. I like again. Mine will be found out in brief tomorrow as well because of Brant versus Lisa. So.
Yeah, I do have an interesting relationship with Kelly Thompson.
Yeah, you do. Kelly
Like,
Thompson. I don't know if you're familiar.
she's the female Grant Morrison.
She writes.
I know Kelly Thompson. I've read some of her stuff.
West Coast Avengers, Hawkeye.
Yeah, she's the
books I
female
like.
Grant Morrison for me.
Yeah.
She's hit and miss with me. She's the female Grant Morrison.
It's interesting. So we'll
Which I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
It depends on what.
I would take it as an insult, but at the same time a compliment because we do like some of Grant Morrison's
Yeah,
work.
I was saying Grant Morrison is a brilliant writer. Not all of his writings are brilliant, but he's a brilliant writer.
You can say that about anybody, though. Really.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
look at Tom Taylor. We sing his praises so much, but none of us are that crazy about X-Men Red. So it just. I mean, I know you are more so because you're a big Jean Grey fan, but overall. But yeah, it's just I think it's like that. Jeff Johns, I hated his Avengers run, but I love everything else he's ever done. So it just depends.
And like the third what's it called? What's that
I
called?
wasted my money on the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus.
The third what?
I think it was called the third something or the final something. That arc in Green Lantern. Remember third arc.
Yeah,
Third Army.
Third Army. Yeah.
That one sucked. Like,
yeah, that wasn't the best either. But he'd been on Green Lantern for a long time. So
yeah, he ended strong though. He came back and ended strong. So his recovery was good, but that arc sucked.
So here at the end of the show, we got a few more viewers pop up. We already talked about Young Justice and everything. We're actually getting ready to wind down. So you can go back and watch this post live and let us know what you think about it.
Indeed.
Yeah. But this has been a fun conversation. We talked about Young Justice. We talked about Heroes in Crisis, a little bit about Captain Marvel, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, all kinds of stuff. And Titans. Yeah, we talked about the ending of Titans. And tune into Frontline Live for more on that. But before we get into all that, time to talk about what's coming out and going on. I almost forgot the name of it. So, Chris, what do you got?
Okay, so right now I am doing I'm editing a series that's going to be going up hopefully this weekend. I'm so late on it. I wanted to do anticipated on my channel for games coming out each and every month. Hopefully the edit will be done soon. I'll have that up. I have a couple of Magic cards I'll be unboxing. If Justin's in the comments, I know a few people are very happy I'm doing Magic because they're fans and players. So I have a little bit of that coming up. Comic review went up last night. I'm hoping that Mike and I can get back on top of it and we'll be back on time, which is usually Wednesdays. And honestly, I've got a few projects I'm working on that I really can't talk about just yet. New year, Celestial Falcon, fun times. I'm sure Brent and I are very excited about that. And I mentioned the Chris and Brant show. I'll let Brant talk about when we want to start it, if he wants to talk about it now or if he wants to wait on it. We'll wait on it. I'm going to let him talk about it, though, if anything, because I didn't triple check with him, so it's better for him to talk about that. And just look forward to a few things here and there. I do have a couple of series I want to start on Frontline. One will be at the end of the month because it's a monthly series. And as soon as I start the weekly one, you'll know what it is, and it'll be continuing forward every single week, unless I'm super, super busy.
Cool. All right, Jay.
All right. Well, let's see. Frontline reviews will be tomorrow. We did a Frontline top 5 panels and panel of the year. So all the Frontline top 5 panels from last year. We'll gather it up, and the winners of those, and you guys can vote on them. The link is still up on the article. It's still valid. I think it's going to be ending right about the same time that the regular top 5 panel ends, which is Tuesday. So vote for them. Frontline reviews again tomorrow will be up.
Where you can read my complete thoughts about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yes. And my complete thoughts on Young Justice. And Captain Marvel. Let's see. Next week, me and Manus is going to be the Reign of Superman animated movie. We are going to be discussing that, Kat and I. I know I liked the Death of Superman more than she did. So we'll see how we feel about Reign of Superman. And then tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to be doing the Young Justice episodes 4, 5, and 6 review / discussion. Similar to what last week's was, but, you know, it's going to be a review / discussion. So that would be up. I'm going to try to do them once a week until it's over for the rest of this month. So I'm going to try to cover them all. And Tuesday night, Frontline Live, every Tuesday night, 10 o'clock p.m. We are back, people. We got our big anniversary coming up in February. So we would really like, you know, spread the word about it. If you have social media, please share our show and, you know, our channel and everything on social media, if you will, be so kind. And that's it, I think. You can follow me on social media at Comic Book Theater. On Twitter, it's without the R. Everywhere else is with the R.
Cool. And Chris is at Dark Avenger C86 on social media. As far as the Frontline
Dark Avenger Gaming.
Dude, which is Dark Avenger Gaming. Yeah, sorry, I was talking to Tommy. Yeah.
No, sorry.
Thank you, Jay.
As far as the Frontline anniversary, that anniversary episode of Frontline Live will air on February 12th. And our technical anniversary is February 11th, so that'll be a big anniversary episode. We are trying to get 5,000 subs for 5 years, so we're close. We only need like 300 and some odd subs, so if you can share, spread the word, we'd really appreciate it. We just, you know, that'd be a really cool milestone to hit. It would coincide. It'd be really cool. So
you know what really sucks?
What?
Is that, oh no, never mind. It doesn't suck, because I was thinking of leap year next year. But it comes after our anniversary, so our anniversary will actually be on Tuesday next year. So,
wow!
I was thinking it would skip the day, but it doesn't, because it doesn't affect it until after February is over. So,
right,
our anniversary next year we'll be doing a live show on our anniversary.
That's right. After February next year, every day that we have this year will be the same exact thing next year. So if the 5th is on a Monday, it'll be on a Monday again after February.
Jesse said 5,000 subs. That's a lot of food. Yeah, we want 5,000 Subway subs delivered to.
I'm from Philly. It's called Home.
I will accept 54 more subs for my channel, because once I hit 100, I'm going to have some news on my channel.
I will take what is it? Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is a place I just recently tried, and they get really good subs too.
If you guys ever come here, there's a place in the Bay that makes sub sandwiches amazing. The name left my mind. I had it, and then you were talking about yours, and mine just completely left. But best subs there.
I had a chicken cheesesteak, Jay, from Jersey Mike's. It was pretty good.
I want to eat you.
I'm just telling you didn't. You had what they consider.
I know. That's why I had to say it.
I know. I just had to say that, because
if I ever visit there, I'm going to try an official Philly cheesesteak for sure.
Yeah. People always come to me and be like, "Oh, I had a Philly cheesesteak." I was like, "Where were you?" California. I was like, "Yeah, it's a Philly cheesesteak." I was like, "I don't care."
But it's Jersey Mike's. Jersey is close to Philly, and that's where it originated. It's a Jersey guy.
Brand, you're going down the rabbit hole.
It's all good. So yeah, spread the word about Comic Frontline. We really want to reach that milestone, please. And we're excited about this anniversary. We're going to do some fun stuff, and we got some stuff coming up. So, and check out all our Topic Time videos. Had a really good turnout for mine this week. Really appreciate that. I think all of them got really good turnouts this week. As a matter of fact.
They did.
Yeah. So Monday through Friday, those are new every day. And as for me on my channel, Monday Musings on Mondays. Brant versus Lisa, we're gonna try to get this schedule going now because it's kind of been like whenever we can get it done with everything going on. But the plan is to have the anticipated one go up on Tuesdays. So that's where Lisa and I both pick a book we want to read, a book we want the other one to read, and a book we pick together equaling 5 books. And then the rated and ranked will go up on Saturdays. So that's kind of the schedule for that. So you got Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday right now is the content that's going up on my channel. So go hit the like and subscribe and notification over there. New episode of Zone 4 next week. I will forewarn you guys, there will be no Zone 4 episodes in February because we're focusing on the Frontline anniversary and we kind of want the focal point to be there. So we're taking the month of February off. I know we just got back from a break, but just to let you know, that's the whole month of February, no Zone 4 episodes. Let's see what else. That might be it for me. Yeah, I guess so. I think there was something else, but it's totally slipped my mind, so I'll just leave it at that. What's that? Oh yeah, Chris. Yeah, that's what it was. Well, I do have a haul up on my. I do have a haul up on my channel, and my Christmas haul will go up probably Sunday, maybe, or early next week.
So I love that video you did with the oh god, you just put it up 2 days ago that you got from the.
Yeah, that's what he was just saying.
Yeah, the
I love that. That was
the Comics
awesome.
Launch Hall, the planner. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I also talk about that in this week's LEPs Around the Fire, which I actually posted on social media. So if you go on mine or Last Summer Press's social media, you can read our newsletter this week for without subscribing. So go check that out.
But you should subscribe.
But you should, yeah. So you get it in your inbox every week or every other week now. Anyway, Chris and Brand Show. Chris and I were talking, and we decided we're going to launch this in April. I believe is what we decided.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to alternate between our two channels. So it's going to be Chris and Brant on Chris's channel, and then Brant and Chris on my channel every other month, alternating months for now. If time allowing and all that good stuff, we may increase it at some point. But right now, starting in April, it's going to be once a month. First month on his channel, second month on my channel, and so on and so forth.
Somebody do fan art, CB/BC, like ACDC.
Yeah, Chris wants to do an ACDC thing.
I want to so bad. Come on, man. It's so similar.
It is. Jesse says Brant versus Lisa has to be a TLC match. She would kill me.
She would murder you.
She would kill me.
I think her looks would just kill you. Like the way she just like stares at you.
It's like wrestling.
Women have that look. Women just have that look. Like it's in their DNA. They can give you that look, and you're like, oh shit.
I know. She looks at me. If I say something or something, she'll give me that look, and I'll be like,
she'll be coming in.
One woman I've ever dated that had that look. That when she gave that look, I knew I was dead.
Yeah.
Cindy gives that look, and I'm like, okay. Okay, that's fine.
But she doesn't get the look. She doesn't get the look. She just gives a look. She doesn't give the look.
She doesn't have the look.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. It's not the look. It's a look.
A look.
She gives you a look.
A look.
She's got to develop the look. It'll come.
Yeah.
You'll know it. She'll look at you and be like,
a look today. She gave me a look today because they had huskies to adopt, and she's like, "We need one." I'm like, "Are they female?" She said, "No, they're both male." I said, "Nope."
Do you have like 2 or 3 dogs already in your house?
Yes, that was the second part of the argument. We have 2. She's like, "But it's a husky. I want a husky." I'm like, "They're boys. We have 2 girls. Do the math in your head." No, exactly.
Go that extra step. Yes.
No, no.
She could be husky.
That's why we always get girls. That all our dogs are girls.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, with dogs, girls are the most nurturing and loving, especially with children, and we have child. So that's what we get, or we don't get it all. The boys are too rowdy.
I've always had like my whole life male dogs, and
really,
my whole life I've always had male dogs, and they've always been like the best dogs. So never been aggressive.
Honestly, it depends on the breed and the dog. You can see when you go to adopt a dog what type of dog you're getting. Yeah. 9 times out of 10.
We talk about dogs so much on this podcast.
We do.
Love dogs.
We do love dogs. I love
Brand's character on Wannabes is a dog.
That's true. That was
Yeah.
Probably because I always wanted a dog at that point, and
now you have a dog.
Now
and
I have a dog. Yeah.
You have two dogs.
This would have been a great discussion when we actually were talking about crypto.
Yeah, right? We all came back around.
It came back around.
All came back around. So anyway, that's our show, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. We appreciate everybody who joined us live. And if you're not listening live, that's fine. We appreciate you as well. And come back next week for a brand new episode of Zone 4. Chris, read us out.
Okay, we'd like to thank the official bands of Zone 4, the Ray Waltz Band and Society's Plague, that you hear on the show each and every episode. We're also proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us, and we're also proud members of the ASPCA. We support them, yeah, especially for those dogs. You can find us right here on Comic Frontline every Friday, and also on comicspodcast.com. I threw myself completely off. Stitcher, iTunes, and of course, zone4podcast.com. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for us, send those to zone4podcast at gmail.com. And as always, thanks for listening. You're now leaving the fantastic Zone 4.
We accept dog treats as well. Bacon flavor.
I was just going to say that.
It's like bacon.
Bacon!
Good night, everybody.